Welcome back to Caterpillar Summer as we read chapter 24 and 25. That evening was braiding night. Kat set up her tablet with one of Mom's favorite movies, the one with the twins, but every 2 minutes Mom ran into another tangle. Ouch, Mom. Sorry, said Mom. I'll be careful. She began brushing again. She must have been distracted or feeling rushed because after a few minutes she began yanking again. Kat pushed away the comb. Stop pulling. It's a mess, Mom said sharply. Like you didn't do anything with it the whole time I was gone? Mom's words hurt more than the comb. Kat switched off the movie. I tried. You were supposed to be here last weekend to help. Mom let out a deep breath. I know you tried. I was frustrated. Come over here so I can keep going. Kat didn't budge. Mom was acting like Kat tangled her hair on purpose, and she had called it a mess. Mom put the comb on a towel and then closed her eyes, pressing her fingers against her temples. She seemed to be thinking about something. She opened her eyes. You have beautiful hair, Kat. Kat shrugged. She wasn't going to let her off that easy. When you were small, Daddy did it every week. You sat on his knee and he combed so gently you never complained. Mom gave Kat a quick grin, maybe because he let you watch Binky Bunnies when he did it. Kat still knew the words to the Binky Bunnies theme song. Not that she would admit it. She remembered the way his hands worked through a tangle. She could smell the deep conditioner he used. It smelled like flowers. A few years ago, that conditioner had been discontinued. She cried for a week. Mom picked up the comb absent-mindedly and set it down again. Having your hair right was important to him, and he knew it would be important to you. He made me understand. Kat knew all this. After Daddy died, Mom combed and braided. Her fingers had been unpredictable in those early months. Sad fingers were unsteady. Worried fingers pinched. Sometimes Mom started crying halfway through and they had to stop. But one day it all came together. Mom had learned how to make it tight to keep the braid in, but with room for her hair to expand as it dried. I'm sorry, Mom said, for snapping at you for not being here last weekend to help. Kat's feelings were still tender. You called it a mess. It's not a mess, it's me. Mom's eyes were serious. You're right. I need your help, Mom. Will you come fishing tomorrow before you leave? Mom looked at Kat carefully. Is that important to you? Is it that important to you? Kat nodded. Mom sighed. Maybe, if we can get up early enough, if traffic doesn't look awful. That was all Kat needed to hear. She scooted toward Mom, who started brushing gently. When she was done, Kat's braid was exactly the way she liked it. Chapter 25. Kat hoped Mom's maybe would turn into yes, so she packed the fishing gear and waited on the deck. But when Mom came out, she shook her head. But I got up early, said Kat. I got everything ready. Mom sighed. I checked the roads. They're already jammed from holiday traffic. I want to get to Atlanta. I need to get going. I do need you, you know, said Kat. Yesterday you said I didn't need you because I had Macon to teach you, but it's not true. I really miss you, and I want to learn from you. I miss you too, said Mom. Do you want to come back to Atlanta with me? Kat blinked. The idea of leaving Gingerbread Island made her insides feel hollow. She loved the island and the ocean. She found a friend in Harriet, and she couldn't bear to think of saying goodbye to Macon and Lolli, plus the contest. I don't know, she said. I know it would be long days of watching Chicken, but you could manage for a week, said Mom. Chicken wouldn't want to leave either, Kat was sure. She had to make Mom understand. I love it here, Mom. Chicken loves it too, said Kat. Plus, I've been meaning to tell you the reason I keep asking about fishing is because I entered a contest. It's next Saturday, and I've been practicing all the time. A fishing contest, Mom frowned. Why didn't you tell me? Kat thought about her plan to get Mom and Megan together through fishing. That seems silly now. I wanted it to be a surprise, she said. At first I entered because I wanted to beat that mean kid John Harvey, but I do not like it. But I do not like it, Mom. The corner of Mom's mouth turned up in a half smile. I liked it too. But I do like it, Mom. I don't know. Sorry. The corner of Mom's mouth turned into half a smile. I liked it too. The little smile meant a lot. It meant Mom still had memories of fishing with Macon, even if they were buried deep. Will you come early Saturday to watch me in the contest, Kat asked. Of course, said Mom. She paused, looking at the water. This place is so magical. It's not that I didn't remember, but everyone thinks their childhood was magical. I didn't know that it would feel this way to me as an adult. Kat swallowed. What made you want to leave? Mom frowned. Your grandfather and I had a big fight. It's complicated. Half the time, Mom leaned on Kat, but the other half, she shut her out. Kat was tired of going back and forth. Macon had messed up, but Mom had messed up too. Saying something wrong is one kind of bad, but maybe saying nothing was even worse. But he said sorry, right? Mom jaws clenched. I don't want you digging around in that old hurt. I'm part of this family too, said Kat. Mom took a deep breath. There was something familiar about it, and Kat realized it was what Mom did when she was trying to stay calm with Chicken. We could talk about this later, Mom said. I really need to get on the road. She pushed open the sliding glass door, went inside to gather her things. After a few minutes, Kat went inside too. Kat followed the others to the driveway to wave goodbye. Mom gave her a quick hug before getting in the car. Bye, shouted Chicken. Kat was still thinking long after Mom's car was gone. From what Mom said on the deck, she was beginning to remember what she loved about Gingerbread Island. Maybe at that contest, with a full day of fishing, she'd remember she loved Macon too. The night of the fireworks, the streets were closed to traffic. Picnic tables stood in the middle of the square. Under strings of white lights, she recognized faces from the pier, park, and library. I hope you're hungry, said Harriet. The food is going to be great. Of course it is, said Needy. Dad's cooking. He pointed at Mr. Kincaid, who was carrying a giant pot. The girls kept an eye on the little brothers while the adults stood in line. Macon returned with a basket and avalanched pink shrimp, corn on the cob, and red potatoes across the paper-covered table. The food was steaming hot. Yum, said Harriet and Nettie. They grabbed corn and started eating. Macon squirted mustard on the table. No forks, no plates. He dipped a piece of potato and handed it to Chicken, whose eyes were wide. Look, Chicken crowed, flipping a shrimp upside down. Legs. Gotta peel them, said Nettie, in a business-like tone of voice. In one quick move, Nettie removed the shrimp from its casing and then chomped it down in 2 bites. Kat handled shrimp all the time. She didn't blink twice when baiting her hook. But she had never had shrimp served with the shell on. She nibbled on a potato. Chicken tried peeling one, but ended up peeling his shrimp in half. Let me show you, said Nettie. He used his thumb to loosen the shell, then removed it in one piece. Chicken peered at the shrimp. He tugged the legs until they came away from the body. Then he put the shrimp into his mouth. His eyes widened as he looked at Kat. He said. He swallowed. Delicious. Kat got to work, and after a few tries, mastered Nettie's peeling trick. They were delicious, salty and fresh. Soon they had big piles of the shells in front of them. Kat put her elbows on the table. I'm stuffed. Save room for blueberry cobbler, said Harriet. Well, we'll get bowls right before the fireworks. The adults were deep in conversations about erosion on the north part of the island. Chicken and Nettie were still eating. They reached for a shrimp at the same time, and their hands bumped. They frowned at each other and then bumped hands again, and this time they bumped shoulders too. Chicken elbowed Nettie, and Nettie elbowed back hard. Cat sat up and leaned toward the table. She felt a hand on her arm. She turned to see, and it was Harriet. "What are you doing?" Cat asked. "Just wait," she said. "Just see." The boys locked eyes with each other. Finally, Nettie dropped her eyes. "Go ahead." "It's okay," said Chicken. "I'll have a potato." He dunked it in butter. Cat couldn't believe it. She looked at Harriet. "I figured they'd work out," said Harriet. "I thought they'd fight," said Cat. "I didn't want Chicken to give Nettie a nosebleed." Harriet shrugged. "Fight happens." Cat shook her head. "It's different for Chicken. He gets upset." "I know you look after him," said Harriet, "but sometimes letting him handle things in a way of looking out for him too is a way of looking out for him too." Once Cat heard Harriet's words, she couldn't stop thinking about them all the way through the rest of dinner, while they were having their blueberry cobbler and while they watched hundreds of fireworks bursting through the night sky. Tune in next time for Chapter 20.